My name is Anjani B Kuumar and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to meet S. Srivathsan in the Transformator. Srivathsan is somebody who has achieved tremendous success in his career. He is currently handling the CXO role at the Times Television Network, where he is the head of human resources and managing a very large set of portfolio. He is somebody who is an engineer, MBA, and then he took on to HR, and where he has seen tremendous growth in his career and where he has gradually moved up in the corporate hierarchy. I had worked with Srivathsan few years back, and where I had worked with him in terms of planning out his career, in terms of helping him figure out that how he can move forward and achieve the success that he really wanted to achieve. And all those plans, all those thoughts, the way they were planned, actually, it gives me so much happiness to see them getting realized. He has reached the top and he's doing extremely well there. So today we are going to meet Srivathsan. So let's have a conversation with him and understand about his success journey and what we can learn from that success journey. Hi Shri, welcome to my channel. Extremely happy to have you on the channel and thank you for spending time to come and meet our viewers and be a part of this Transformator series.
Thank you, Anjani. It's an absolute pleasure to be talking to you. Thanks, first of all, for inviting me over. And it's absolutely happy to know that you have started this YouTube channel for the benefit of young audiences. So really great.
Thank you. And I was just telling the viewers about you in terms of your background, what you have done so far. And, I just want to reiterate again that, Shri is a very well-known personality in the HR field. And plus, he is also in a very visible role, being the HR head of Times Television Network, where he has handled people like Arnab Goswami in the past, and now, Rahul Shiv Shankar, and then some of the well-known news anchors. So Shri, it will be a great idea if you can just take, the viewers through your journey, what all you have done so far, and, especially in your success journey where you have reached today, what are some of the key differentiators, what has really helped you reach here?
Right. A great question to begin with, Anjani. It is a long and arduous journey. And, quickly, if I go back in time, engineering and, was the code training, and then you do an MBA. And then I went up and did a operations role, and then landed up in HR because there was some affinity in the plant human relations side of things, and that's how things worked out. What has helped me over the years, if I want to quickly give a sense to your viewers, playing to your strengths. So for example, in my case, it so worked out that I had an engineering background and a natural affinity for numbers. So I gravitated towards compensation and HR technology, and you'll have to find a niche initially and establish your credentials in a particular area, and playing to your strengths there becomes very, very useful. Oftentimes it happens that we look around and look at our colleagues and probably try to imitate what they're doing. Maybe they are good at certain things, but my advice is stick to the knittings in terms of your strengths and try to exploit that and establish your credentials. Okay, the second most important thing that I would advise the young audiences who are watching this program is, going out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Once you have established a credential, or would you want to, spend the rest of your life doing the same thing, or you try to actually find natural areas of progression and try to, push yourself a bit? Okay, so that's another thing that I want your viewers to appreciate and understand. The third important point is the power of investing in yourself. Okay, it is important that you learn. Okay, whether it is through Udemy or Coursera or whatever, keep those little investments and don't depend fully on your HR department, I would say, for your learning curve. Okay, you're responsible for that, and you need to make those little investments and take help from outside, professionals from outside who can help you with your learning journey.
No, that's wonderful, Shri, because I keep telling people that gone are the days when companies would actually invest in your growth, and probably earlier maybe Hindustan Lever and then some of the other companies used to do that. But now you can't just rely on, as you rightly said, your HR department to support your growth. And in the West, we have seen that people invest a lot in themselves, and somewhere this trend has to come in
Yes.
India also. That's extremely critical, right?
Yes, it is important. It is important. Yeah.
So I think moving forward, as this channel is all about coaching, training, and where I try to give back as much as and whatever I know to people. Because through digital medium, the beauty is that you can reach to a much wider audience. So just to coming back to your journey, what do you feel? What is the role coaching and training has played in your career in making you reach where you are today?
So Anjani, I've been extremely fortunate, to encounter a lot of good advice through peers, managers, and coaches. It is important, and it is also pertinent at this point, since you are trying to reach out to many audiences, that a lot of help is available. It is up to us to tap into that. Okay. For example, I spent almost 50% of my journey in media and entertainment. And I can say that my survival skills, had I not met you as my first boss in the media sector, the whole experiment would have been, not worth it, because it is important that you encounter the first boss or the first manager you encounter. You try to build a good rapport and try to extract the best of that relationship. So I've been fortunate, and not only in media, but earlier too in the pharma sector and in the IT sector, I had good bosses, and I was open to, approaching them and learning from them. So I think we should shed our inhibitions and adopt a guru, so to say, when we enter the workplace. And that is one message I want to give to younger viewers, that, we should shed this I know it all kind of an attitude, and, try to accept feedback from coaches as gifts and, use them for your betterment.
No, so rightly said, Shri, because what happens is, and this is not just for, the young audiences, but even, as you mature also in the professional world, and if you have been successful, you start believing that you know it all.
Yeah.
Till actually you hit a roadblock, and then you realize that, there's still more to learn. Sure. And that's where this constant learning is so important.
Sure. It's important. And coaches can help break some barriers, those barriers, because they have been there, or at least seen very senior people, act in a particular fashion, and they can offer good help in such situations,
Correct. And see, the conventional education prepares us, to know the basics, right? Because, but learning from people who have actually done it, who have gone through those phases, it's a very different experience altogether.
Surely. It's quite beneficial to look at those avenues.
Yeah, so I think going back a few years when we were working together, and I still remember you came from pharma industry, and as you rightly said, you entered media, which is a very different sort of thing, and now you have become a veteran of media.
Right.
So again, some of the conversations that we used to have earlier in terms of planning your journey, your career path. So do you think those things helped you in some way?
Of course, it has. I was just before entering this interview, I was trying to jog my memory and see what are the key things that stood out. One, personal branding. Creating your own personal brand. Okay, without going too much in terms of self-marketing or whatever you call, but create a sense of aura and a sense of importance. That is something that stood out. The other thing is that that stood out in our conversations, which you offered as tips, is improving visibility. With the senior management. Try to involve yourself in key projects which the bosses feel it is important. The leadership team feels, or the CEO feels it is important, so that when you become successful in that particular project, your boss also feels happy about it, and so does the chief executive. So visibility management and personal brand management are important things. And then since in HR especially, and also in other functions where there are multiple people viewing your performance and looking at you, one thing that stood out, which you told, which I often repeat to my people also, is that it is always good to have definitely good to have a positive feedback going around with the HODs, or a neutral feedback. Never get into the negative zone, because during the crunch time, maybe during appraisals or promotion times, that can be a deal breaker for you, right? So always maintain either a neutral or a positive stance, and that these 2 or 3 things were very useful, and I have often repeated it to my team members that these are good things to learn from you.
I'm so happy that you remember and you're using some of those things.
It's helping a lot.
No, and that's the idea, because what we learn, we pass on to people down the line further, right? And that's how we build the community, we build our brand also. And that's extremely useful. But just for sake of the audiences and the audiences which are outside media, who think that media is extremely glamorous, and because obviously you in past have handled such interesting personalities, do you want to share some experiences how difficult or easy your job is?
I think I mean, a lot of people raise eyebrows when they get to know that I'm in media, but the really, I think the kind of media that we are talking is about 24/7 live news and things breaking all the time, and so it is quite a pulsating environment that we have. And when you don't have people on the floor manned for a particular job, that how stressful it can become with editor-in-chiefs and all that, because meeting after meeting, everything points to people, because again, media and is content as such is a people business. So yes, I mean, in the back end, it is very, very stressful. And keeping my team's morale high when everybody around is bashing them up is not an easy job. So it is so, and for your viewers who are wanting to, or wanting to move to media, I would say that you require a lot of mental strength actually, in terms of working in media, and especially in news media and digital media, where things are happening so fast, and even a mistake can cost a lot of losses to the company. So it is not so glamorous as it looks, yes, but at the end of the day, when the job is well done, you feel happy. That's important, right, for us to see that we have added to the success of the company.
Absolutely. And I feel so proud that you have built such a large organization. Because I remember when the whole television network in the Times Group had started, how it was built, and how you were instrumental in creating this large empire, and it's such a great story. So but just to an extension of that, because obviously you have reached a CXO level, and sometime back, when I had written a blog post around earning an 8-figure salary, 1 crore salary, And I remember you were the first one who pinged me and said, is it possible? And I told you that look back, at your own story and you have achieved it, right?
Yeah. Actually, I made those calculations after we had that conversation. And
yes.
It is possible. And I went back in time to see when I hit that 8-figure salary, and the timelines kind of what you were trying to indicate, that kind of matched up, because it is a big thing. It is a big thing, and it requires a lot of planning, and a lot of expert advice might be required, and it just didn't happen by chance. At least in my case, some people are more luckier than others, but having good advice is important to actually get to that figure. It's a big thing, right? It is that Sharma ji ka beta syndrome, like.
Yes.
I think, viewers may definitely get this, what I am getting at. So it has got its own, envy value,
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All this could have not been possible without tips from, mentors and coaches at the right time. And that is what is important. It is possible for everybody to get it, but it has to come with a lot of hard work and advice at the right time.
Yes. No, and what happens is, these days when I coach people, and initially when I tell them that, you need to be ambitious, keep a very high ambition, and this is one thing which you should definitely plan. And then they get scared. And then, there are examples of, people like you and many more, who, have worked with me in the past. And then, when you go back and just decipher the whole journey and try to understand, if there's a plan, it's definitely possible, right?
Yeah.
Love.
Exactly. But yeah, it requires gradual movement and moving the right pieces at the right time. And possible.
Okay. So again, coming back to your CXO journey, and so what are the few things which really you think that they have worked for you in this journey and where you have reached today?
Right. So one of the things that I realized is that we spend a lot of time sharpening our functional skills. Okay. So we go from one position, say in my case a manager HR, to a senior manager in a particular fashion. But suddenly when you reach a CXO level, and I have discussed with my peers, suddenly you find that you have spent a lot of time shaping your functional journey, but suddenly you met with expectations from the CEO which you are not prepared for. Right? So it's suddenly everybody around is talking in terms of balance sheet and P&L and profits and external environment and PR stuff. So it is important that as you move along the journey, you also add some of these skills which are generic in nature. That's where a management degree kind of helps. But in today's day and age, where basics of formal education is also being questioned, the conversations you have with managers, with people, these needs to be peppered and garnished with a lot of business related stuff. Understanding the business, understanding how cash flows, understanding how revenue comes, these are the things that will matter when you are into the boardroom. People may not want to know, I'm sorry, but the how you got there, the details of whether you gave an offer, whether that was accepted by the guy, nothing of that sort. They want results, and they want to know how you can impact the bottom line, the top line, or cut costs, or any of those. So it is clearly preparing yourself for a CXO role is the more difficult part of it, I think. And if you don't add those right ingredients at the right time, you may not, while some of you may still reach, you may not be successful in being there in the top position for a long time.
No, and I think, Shri, in today's world, it's not just about reaching there, as you rightly said, being there is even more difficult.
Yeah, holding on is also a difficult job. Yeah.
Correct, because beyond a point in time, the demands will keep on increasing, and then you have to keep justifying, because as you rightly said, corporates are all about problem solving, right? You have to give the output.
Yes.
That's the only thing which gets valued, and what you did yesterday has no value.
Right. That's
Correct.
okay.
No, these are extremely useful inputs, and I must tell, I'll just take a couple of minutes, to tell the viewers my story also, because
Sure.
sometimes you learn these things, trial by fire. What happens, because at 23, when I joined the corporate world, and I was a management trainee, and as a part of that training program, I landed in one of the divisions of the company. And then that time, the HR head of that particular division has just quit, who used to be a senior of mine from the college. And the business head met me and told me that, why don't you take that position?
Okay.
So at 23, I had some 7-8 people reporting into me in their 30s and 40s, and I was the head of HR. So that's as you rightly said, sometimes life puts you in those situations, and then you have to learn how to manage, and obviously I managed and became successful. So that's why it's extremely critical to really navigate and understand this whole journey. And what I always say, and one of the reasons I'm getting people like you to be a part of this Transformators series, is there's a lot that people can learn by observing the journeys of people like you and some of the others whom I'm interviewing, because that's how you can also plan your journey, right?
Yeah.
Great. So I think just to conclude, again, for all the viewers who are watching, they would like to probably get from you some of the tips, which would help them become successful, and how they should plan their journey. So what are few things that you would like to tell them?
I think, I may have mentioned some of these risk taking, and definitely coming out of comfort zone is something that I would advise, because traditionally, if you see, Indian families are brought out in a very
safe environment.
Very safe environment, and there is never a incentive given for risk taking. Okay, but with more nuclear families, things may be changing. But it is important that your viewers know the benefits of risk taking. It is I think people should go out of their comfort zone and try something new, and then learning and investing in yourself, reading books or courses, self-learn courses. Okay. That's very, very important. I think it is useful in terms of not only all the conversations with other leaders. It is important that they have a connect with them, and you need to have a broad-based knowledge. Okay.
Actually, often I see people, saying that I'm so tied up with my job, and how do I get time? And just to tell the viewers also, because it's 10:30 in the night and you are sitting in office, right?
Okay.
So how do people get time? That's the question they ask.
So basically, what happens is that once you're propelled in this seat of power, calendar management becomes a very, very difficult task, because everybody wants to meet you. So how do you select the things that are important is also one of the things. It is very important that not every meeting that you get invited to you should go. You should ask, what am I going to contribute in that meeting, whether my time will be better utilized. So time management, yes, it becomes quite a skill, and you learn it over the period of time. The art of saying no. I think we Indians have this problem of not being able to clearly say no. We feel offended that the other person will get offended when I say a no, right? So that is something that your viewers should know, that these are some of the trickier things that you need to manage. The other thing is that one aspect of visibility, which I thought I would have told earlier, is always be prepared with an elevator pitch.
Yes.
For example, if you bump into your CEO in the elevator for 30 seconds, what will you say? Will you stay quiet? Will you talk about a new idea you have? So that when he leaves the elevator, he calls you. Okay, so that's an important thing in terms of visibility management.
And culturally, we are the people who typically would go quite silent.
With powerful people around, we become a bit guarded, and maybe these are the things that people have to look into it, so that their career can be turbocharged. And another important aspect, we didn't have the formal system of coaches, and you yourself have interacted with so many people, and on your own you would have mentored and coached so many people over the years. And I'm sure that they all call back and discuss the benefits of having a conversation. So having a professional coach, which it doesn't reflect badly on you. It is you should shed all those inhibitions. It is always good to take help from professionals. And in terms of getting into a professional relationship with a coach, all sports people have coaches, personal coaches. So it is about people who have seen successful people in those positions earlier, and they are there to share the knowledge, and they want to be a part of your success journey. It's important to talk to coaches, and especially Anjani, I can mention that you have done a fabulous job of mentoring and coaching people like us, and I think your viewers should take benefit of such advice that is available. Yeah.
No, and Shri, these days, if you see, even most of the CEOs have coaches,
right?
Because it has become so important, and plus, most of the people who reach the CXO level realize that when you reach the top, how lonely it is.
Yeah, I mean that's an important aspect. Yeah, so self-management, and also the stresses that come. There are so many things that youngsters have to know, that physical self-management, mental self-management, and loneliness part that you spoke about. All these are the spin-off effects of being successful, and you have to have a plan to tackle all those. Yes. Yeah.
Great. So great, it was a great interaction, Shri, and thank you for spending time and sharing, your journey, your experiences, and some of the advice that, you gave to people. I'm sure, viewers would understand, and try to take some of these learnings very seriously and implement them in their career also. So thank you for spending time. And
thanks, Anjani. It's absolute pleasure to talk to you after some time. And, I hope your viewers gain something out of this conversation, and they use it for their own, career journey. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So I'm sure you would have enjoyed this conversation with Srivathsan, and you would have seen that how he has planned out this whole journey, what kind of challenges he went through, and how he is overcoming them to craft this success journey for himself and keep continuously growing. He has also emphasized the need for learning and clearly implementing this in one's career. So if you have liked this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your family and friends. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. I will answer them personally. And then I will see you in the next video. Till then, thank you very much for watching.